Hi there, I'm Jack Van Ryn, Mayor of the Town of Coaldale. I will be giving you a council brief from our regular council meeting that was held Monday, June 27th, 2022. And the first item of business that came up was agenda item 4.1 regarding speed limit reduction study update. We had our manager of community policing, Mark Anderson, and our town planner, Melanie Messier, present to council. And the purpose of the report was to provide council with the traffic limit reduction study summary and provide a recommendation for the next steps related to the traffic calming pilot program that was held in Coaldale. So as part of the study, traffic analyzers were deployed throughout the town at selected sites to fairly represent the different roadway designs, usage, and traffic volumes within the town. Analyzers monitored 25 sites for a 1-week interval, monitoring traffic 24 hours per day, 7 days a week, allowing for various traffic patterns and volumes. Following a review of the data, the average speed on residential streets was 38 kilometers an hour, excluding Alberta Transportation regulated highways and playground zones. The speed data alone does not indicate a significant speeding issue on town residential streets. 85 percentile speed data was also analyzed to determine the uniformity of speeds that vehicles are traveling at. This is the speed at which 85% of vehicles are traveling at or below, and is also an indicator that is utilized within the traffic calming policies in many other communities that staff has studied. Upon initial data collection, a formal traffic calming study is typically not warranted unless the 85th percentile speed is 7 to 10 kilometers greater than the posted speed limit, among other various indicators. So with all that being said, results from the speed study do not point to any significant speed issue within the town. However, it does suggest a targeted enforcement initiative addressing those limited numbers of speeders traveling over the speed limit would be a benefit to continue monitoring. So our Director of Community Policing, Mark Anderson, recommended that we launch a targeted enforcement initiative at specific sites and times of day when speed infractions are most significant, combined with aggressive education campaign within the community. The efficiency of targeted enforcement at each location will be measured by redeploying the traffic analyzers for a length of time after the campaign has been completed. This data can then be analyzed to determine if further traffic calming measures are warranted, which may indicate the need for physical changes to the roadway if suitable. So council went with the recommendation that council direct administration to initiate a targeted enforcement campaign in locations throughout the town deemed warranted by the manager of community policing. So that motion was passed last night. The second item that came up under agenda item 4.2 was land acknowledgement, and it was presented by our CAO, Kaylin Hastings. So this is something that council has discussed in length since our term began last October, and during our strategic planning sessions, it was agreed upon by council to look into this further. And with that being said, the purpose of the report was to provide council with land acknowledgement statement options, as well to request direction and approach and next steps. So council went through 4 options, and the option that we voted unanimously on was the land acknowledgement that will go as follows. The town of Coaldale acknowledges that we are gathered on the lands of the Blackfoot people of the Canadian Plains and pays respect to the Blackfoot peoples, past, present, and future, while recognizing their cultural heritage, beliefs, and relationship to the land. The town of Coaldale is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. So the land acknowledgement will be taking place at any community event that the town is involved with. And also we are going to add the land acknowledgement to our live stream video at the beginning of each council meeting. And we're also looking at doing something on our emails as well. So for myself, at the bottom of my emails moving forward, I will have a land acknowledgement as well. So that was something that was very important for council to do. So I'm very happy that was looked at. And we asked for administration to come back to our July 11th meeting on how we can further use the land acknowledgement regarding not only council but also our administrative team. The next item that came up, we had 2 delegations. The first one was our citizen member Roger Holm from Green Acres Foundation. He came and presented on what's going on in Coaldale with our senior homes that are operated by Green Acres Foundation. So he gave us a very good in-depth report. And as part of that, he brought up the fact that our lodges are nearing capacity. So we had a discussion about what we could do as a council to be proactive and look into the future as far as getting another senior home in Coaldale. So Roger Holmes suggested that we arrange a meeting with Green Acres with our council. So we passed a motion at our meeting to have administration reach out along with Roger to the Green Acres Foundation board so that we can meet with them in the fall to discuss the possibilities of getting additional lodge in Coaldale. After that, we had a delegation from our RCMP detachment, and we had our Staff Sergeant Mike Newman in attendance, along with Sergeant Dave Marentet, and they provided their community policing report for the town of Coaldale, and the report served to provide an overview of human resources, financial data, and crime statistics for the January 1st to March 31st, 2022 reporting period. So Staff Sergeant gave us a really good in-depth explanation of that report. And I'm not going to go through it as part of this video, but I will have the agenda package in the comments section. And if you click on the link, it'll take you to a very user-friendly website where you can go through every agenda item at your convenience and look at it more in depth. Then we had under agenda item 7.1, we gave second and third reading to our traffic control bylaw 843-R-03-22. And again, our manager of community policing, Mark Anderson, presented. And the purpose of the Mark's presentation was regarding the second and third readings, like I said, to the traffic safety bylaw, to make the bylaw consistent with provincial legislation, to update references to RCMP and peace officer, and to changes reflecting new town dynamics. So basically, Mark went through the bylaw and updated, because the existing bylaw still references Lethbridge City Police. So there's just some language changes that need to be completed. So we discussed that, and the changes also regarding Jake breaks. So one problem that we're having at all 4 entrances coming into Coaldale are truckers that feel the need to use their Jake brakes when they're coming through town limits. And we decided to raise the fine for Jake brakes from $100 to $500. So our town bylaw, or municipal enforcement, will be enforcing that moving forward once we get the signs in place. We also had a legal opinion completed on some things that we're doing as part of that bylaw, and that includes having travel trailers detached from their tow vehicle and parked in front of their personal residences. So the legal opinion came back to say that we are okay to keep doing that. And we will, from the May long weekend to the Thanksgiving weekend. And as part of that, we had a discussion about a few issues that have been reported with people parking their travel trailers in front of their residences. And the big one is power cords. So people that decide to run an extension cord across the sidewalk, that's a $70 fine if somebody reports you and bylaw comes in and finds that you do indeed have an extension cord laying across the sidewalk. So please make sure that you do not do that. That's a $70 fine. Also, another concern that was brought up was people that park or back their travel trailers into their driveways, and their driveways aren't quite long enough, so their trailer hitches are extending into the sidewalk, the public walkway. And the same goes with when you park your trailer in front of your house and you have a slide out. You can't have your slide out extended where it impedes the flow of traffic down the street or people walking on the sidewalk. So that was also discussed. One other item was heavy vehicles. So right now, you're not allowed to park heavy vehicles in residential areas. They have to be on a designated truck route. But one item that we allow and will continue to allow is if somebody wants to bring their semi home, like not the semi and the trailer that it's pulling, just the tractor unit itself, to give it a clean vacuum or replenish with stock, and then it has to be parked in your driveway. You cannot do that or leave it sitting on the street. And if you do bring it home to do all that, it has to be gone by 10 o'clock at night and returned to a proper truck route or storage yard. And we also discussed golf carts, as far as golf carts running around the community. And it was again emphasized that golf carts are prohibited by the Traffic Safety Act from being driven on the road, and they must be confined to a golf course or private road. So when I say golf course, they have to be on the golf course itself, on the fairway or designated golf course pathways. So we approved second and third reading, and that was passed unanimously. Then we discussed golf carts further under agenda item 7.2, and this is something that's been in place since 1987 that we had to make changes to, and there's going to be people that aren't going to be happy with this, but it's something that needed to be done. And this revolves around driving golf carts in the Land O'Lakes subdivision to get to the golf course. So back in 1987, there was a bylaw approved that allowed any resident that lives in Land O'Lakes to drive their drive their golf cart on a public roadway to get to the golf course for their game of golf. So we asked administration to come back and with a legal opinion on the golf carts. And like I mentioned earlier, golf carts aren't allowed on any public roadways, but they were allowed in the Land O'Lakes subdivision. So that's bylaw was repealed last night. And again, having obtained a legal opinion on bylaw 217-R-7-87, it has been determined that the Fairway Drive off-highway vehicle traffic bylaw should be repealed, as it does not comply with the current legislation. So the council voted to repeal the bylaw. So effective immediately, golf carts will not be allowed on the Land O'Lakes roads or sidewalks. And the legal opinion came back that council knowingly pass a bylaw with a provision that contravenes binding legislation, as in the Alberta Traffic Act. There are numerous risks with this approach, including that making such a decision could attract liability for the town and the counselors personally. So if something, God forbid, should happen with a golf cart injuring somebody, we cannot overrule the Alberta Traffic Act. So we have to follow that statute, and that is that golf carts are not allowed on roadways. So to what we're going to do moving ahead with that is that we instructed our Director of Community Policing, Mark Anderson, that following the repeal, a proactive engagement and education program would be undertaken with the neighborhoods affected, as well as the town as a whole, to make all aware of the rules regarding golf cart uses on roadways. And discussions between administration and Land O'Lakes management is already underway and should continue toward a practical solution. So right now, golfers at Land O'Lakes are using the public sidewalk on holes 11 and 17 as a cart path. And with this new repeal of the bylaw, we also have to disallow golf carts on the public sidewalks. And that is going to take some education, and again, working with Land O'Lakes on how we're going to rectify what's currently going on. So in a nutshell, if bylaw sees a golf cart on a public roadway for the rest of this golf season, they're not going to chase you down and give you a ticket. What they're going to do is have a discussion with you and explain the changes to the bylaw and moving forward what needs to be done. And we'll deal with it that way for the rest of this golf season. We'll do some education programs over the winter, and then by next spring, when golf season is up and running again, hopefully everybody will understand what you can and cannot do, and more so why you cannot be driving golf carts on public roadways. Then we had agenda item 7.3 regarding fees and rates bylaw 855-C-06-22. We passed all three readings at our meeting, and this had to do with traffic safety and transportation of dangerous goods fees. And the addition of these fees to the bylaw coincides with the traffic control bylaw that has been presented to town council. So I'm not going to go into the particulars of that particular bylaw. Again, I'll have that as part of the agenda package. Then under agenda item 8.1, we had a swearing in of our new deputy mayor, and that will be Dale Pickering. The way it's set up with council is that it's on a rotational basis. So every 8 months we will get a new deputy mayor. Councillor Jason Avery was our first deputy mayor at the start of our term, and Jason did an excellent job. And one thing that I asked of council is that when a deputy mayor is appointed to certain files, more so with their expertise level, they're going to continue on that file even though they're not deputy mayor anymore. So in the case of Councillor Avery, he's very knowledgeable on our ambulance service in Coaldale, and also our emergency fire services. So he'll continue on those files. And then Deputy Mayor Dale Pickering, I'll have him involved. And one thing that I like to do as mayor is have our deputy mayors participate actively in discussions with community groups or organizations or government entities. And I think it's important that they get exposed to what goes on behind the scenes. So we had our Staff Sergeant Mike Newman swear in Councillor Pickering last night, and that was well received. So thank you very much, Mike Newman, for doing that, and congratulations, Deputy Mayor Pickering. Then we had agenda item 8.2, and that was regarding the community grant program. And that was our granting that we comes about as a result of our photo radar. And we had our Director of Recreation and Community Services, Russ Tanner, and our Municipal Administration intern, Tom Anderson, present last night. And the report was to provide council with the eligible 2022 applications received for the Town of Coaldale Community Grant, and to provide council with recommendations as to the awarding of the funds to the various community projects. So the Photo Radar granting program has been in place for 6 years, and to date we've given out $181,355 to worthy projects. And this year's recipients were, and they had $35,000. I should say the town had $35,000 to donate towards these applications. And we had a total of applications of $159,753. And again, we only had $35,000 to spend. So we tried to spread the wealth the best we could. And the first recipient was the Coaldale and District Firefighters Association. They requested $10,000 for their training center program. They were awarded $6,566. Then the Coaldale Girl Guides and Scouts, they were requesting $7,500 for their meeting space renovation. And they were awarded the same amount, $6,566. And then we had the Cottonwood community. They want to do some upgrades to their ice rink and basketball court, and they want to add some more equipment. And their request was $10,484. They were also given $6,566. And then we had the Coaldale Granite Club. They were looking to replace some of their curling rocks, and they were asking for $5,000, and they were given their full request of $5,000. And then the Coaldale Senior Center was looking for $2,500 to purchase some new gaming tables, and they were given the $2,500 as per their request. Coaldale Dry Grad, they were looking for $1,400 to host their Dry Grad celebration event, and the committee awarded them the $1,400. And the Coaldale Christian School was looking for $6,400 to host their ASAA 1A Basketball Provincial Championship, and they were awarded the full $6,400 as per their request. And that totaled $34,998. And it's important that any nonprofit group that's looking for funding to make sure that they fill out the application when it comes out next year again. Then our last item on the agenda was appointment of a municipal property assessor. We had our Chief Financial Officer, Kyle Beauchamp, present. And this was regarding under section 284.2 of the Municipal Government Act. A municipality must appoint a person having the qualifications set out in the regulations to the provisions of a designated officer to carry out the functions, duties, and powers of a municipal assessor under the Act. Through the combination of requirements under the MGA and the current property assessor contract expiring, a point of a Coaldale property assessor is being brought forward to Town Council for an appointment. So we put out a RFP on the provincial bid board, and we had Benchmark Assessment Consultants put in a successful application, and they were awarded the assessment job for the Town of Coaldale. So the motion came back that Council appoint Benchmark Assessment Consultants Incorporated as property assessor for the Town of Coaldale. And again, I'll have that information as part of the agenda package in the comment section. So that's it for the council brief from our meeting. And again, I strongly encourage you to look at the agenda, go through every item. It's they're very detail orientated and they're easy to follow through. And if you have any questions or concerns at the end of this video, I will have my contact information, my phone number, my email. Please reach out to me. If you see me on the street, stop me, ask me any questions that you want. And not just myself, any member of council, we're always available for any discussions with any residents. And then as far as these council updates, please do me a favor, like them, share them, and subscribe to the YouTube channel where I'm posting these, because that'll be helpful to get the word out if you can share them as well on your individual platforms. So anyways, that's it for today, and thank you very much, and have an awesome week. Take care.